Whoever you might be in the world listening to this video, I'm sure you're going through this as well. And I genuinely, from all my heart, wish that you are able to be fully present and fully authentic. So there's this paradox of presence. We all crave connection. We all want to be seen, but at the same time, we are so afraid of being noticed. Have you ever told yourself that you really wanted to put yourself out there? You really wanted to do something at work or in your life or in your family or among your friends. But then when you're in the spotlight, somehow something in you just cringes a bit or it just contracts a bit. There's a very specific reason why this is happening. And in this short video, I'd like to take us through a journey where we can explore why do we seek connection as human beings, first of all. And the second thing is, why are we so afraid of being noticed? Hopefully getting to the last part of this video where we're going to be talking about the presence equation, an actual equation that we can use to have a healthy form of presence with the world and relate to the world in a very mindful, conscious, healthy, and successful way, hopefully. So why do we want to be seen? It's a question that has been asked for decades, for eons, across humanity, across history. And there are three ways of looking at this. The first way is to actually look at our hardwiring as human beings. It is our nature to be seen. We are tribal by nature. We seek connection. We seek validation. This is a drive for inner safety that's actually hardwired inside of us. We need to be seen because our psyches are built in a way where if we're not seen, if we're not validated, we feel that we're not going to survive. So maybe 1,000 years ago, or even more, thousands of years ago, when we were in a jungle or in a forest or in caves and we're living, if we're not seen, if we're not accepted, if we're not validated by those people around us, by our tribe, by our community, by our people, then the chances are we're going to be left alone. We're going to be completely alone and we're going to have to survive by ourselves. And the world is a very harsh and cruel place. There are predators, there are animals, there is danger. We need to fend for ourselves. We need to go and forage for food. We need to hunt. We need to gather. And if we don't have those things prepared for us, if we're not a part of a community, then it becomes very dangerous. So the primary reason why we want to be seen is because it is hardwired into our DNA. A second and very important thing and reason for us to be seen, I think, is more of a modern thing. We want to be seen because it is an emotional revolution. For us to be able to fight back at people and at conditions and at systems that have oppressed us. So whether it's a small oppression or whether it's a big oppression, it doesn't matter. What matters is that being seen and seeking connection is also a form of an emotional revolution for us to correct the things within us that we feel are far away from how we view ourselves. So for example, if I want to leave my job and I want to go and start a YouTube channel and start talking on the channel because I want to be seen, part of the reason is because throughout my history and throughout my childhood and throughout my upbringing and throughout my adolescence even and my adulthood, there are interactions that I've had with the system around me. There are interactions that I've had with family. There are interactions that I've had with friends where I felt oppressed, where I felt bottled down, where I felt caged in. And the only way for me to actually correct that cognitive dissonance inside of me, because wherever I'm caged in, it doesn't really reflect how I really view myself. Because we don't view ourselves as these caged in versions of ourselves. We view ourselves as probably limitless and full of potential. So to correct that, obviously, I need to come out and I need to express myself. And yes, I'm expressing myself through this video here. I express myself through so many other ways. And people all around the world do the same exact thing because seeking being seen and seeking connection and seeking validation is a very valid form of emotional revolution. And the third and last bucket, or the third and last reason why we seek being seen, is because we see ourselves. If we really calm our minds down, it is a form of self-recognition. It is a form of self-development. We see ourselves and we maybe see our true natures, how we are limitless, how we are full of love, how we are full of abundance. And if people don't see that in us in any shape or form, it doesn't have to be they see, that we're so limitless and we're so abundant, but at least if they don't see a small amount of that in us, then something in us is going to feel restless. So in a sense, wanting to be seen is also a form of us recognizing ourselves and recognizing the things in ourselves that we want to see in ourselves. Wanting to be seen and wanting to be connected to people is a very powerful and valid form of personal development and self-development and self-recognition. And it is something that I think every human being is entitled to. So that brings us to the second part of our talk today, and that is, why are we so afraid of being noticed? If we want to be seen, if we want connection, if we want validation, then why is it so difficult for some people? Why is there that feeling of cringe? Why is there that feeling of contraction? Why is there that friction for us to just go out there and put ourselves out there? And also here, there are two main reasons. The first reason has to do with a lot of friction that we receive from the outside world. Many of us are victims of abuse. And when I say abuse, it doesn't need to be physical abuse or emotional abuse. It could also be systematic abuse. The systems we grow up in, the societies we grow up in, the communities we grow up in, they all exercise a form of oppression on us, whether we like it or not. So we're afraid of being noticed because this oppression has actually conditioned our mind in a way to say, what are you doing? How are you putting yourself out there in a way that is maybe authentic or in a way that is not really related to how people would expect you to behave? And that abuse, that conditioning, that oppression actually generates a lot of fear in us. Another thing is that we're also afraid of burning bridges by showing up, by being confident, by being authentic, by being aligned, by being seen. We can be burning bridges to the old life that we were living, because once we come out into the world and we speak our truth, there's no going back. We're shattering a certain image of ourselves. We're shattering a certain relationships that maybe we even have in the world, and there's no going back. And the fact that we're burning bridges is actually something that can be quite scary for many people, including myself. The last thing I would like to mention is that I think I can speak for myself. Some part of us is afraid of being successful. It's hardwired into our nervous system that we cannot be successful. We cannot handle success because that voice in our head will come out and start telling us we do not deserve to be successful. We are not destined for success. And so this is danger. So our mind and our body and our nervous system equates success and equates putting ourselves out there and equates being seen with danger. And that also makes it very difficult for us to be seen and to put ourselves out there. And this is truly the final point, is that also by being seen and by putting ourselves out there, what's happening is that we're getting projected on. So we have all of our friends, all of our family, all of our community, even strangers will relate to us. Some of them will have positive feedback. Some of them will have negative feedback. Some of them might not even care. Some of them will make fun. Some of them will enjoy. Some of them will praise. Some of them won't praise. But it doesn't matter, because all of these are actual projections that we're receiving from the world around us. And we really need to be able to stay in our center, to stay in our truth, even though the whole world is projecting on us. Because of the privilege of being seen, the privilege of putting yourself out there, is that you are going to become a mirror to the world. The world will mirror to you everything inside of you that you are afraid of and everything inside of you that you are trying to run away from. So when these projections come, the only way to handle them is to sit in stillness and in silence and in truth, and to confront them without being reactive, to accept the lessons that are coming in from the world through these projections, and also to be able to see, like, if some people are absolutely ridiculous in their feedback, you can also be silent, and you can also be still, and you can also be calm, because you can see that what they're saying is absolute bullshit. And you can only do that if there's a part of you in yourself that is genuinely comfortable with who you are and genuinely comfortable with that specific feedback that you're receiving. So somebody might come and say, oh, you are so arrogant. You're so arrogant. You're trying to put yourself out there. You must be so insecure. You must want validation so much. You just want a brand for yourself. You're so egotistical. Somebody might come and tell you that. And the truth is that that's probably most likely that reflects what they are going through. That's reflecting their experience. And all of us have that. But if you are genuinely in touch with that part of you and you accept it and you've made peace with it and you've integrated it into who you are, then it wouldn't bother you. It wouldn't bother even you saying it so confidently and so openly, because you know that, yes, there is a part of me that is arrogant. Yes, there is a part of me that is insecure. Yes, there is a part of me that wants validation. But that is not my whole. That is not my essence. That is not the reason why I want to show up and speak and raise my voice. There are so many other parts of me. There is a truth. There is an essence. There is a whole. There is a desire to connect. There are so many beautiful things. So when somebody comes to you with that reflection, you can say, maybe you're right, but that's not the whole story. And I'm sorry that it feels so intense for you. And I'm sorry that it feels so myopic for you. And I'm sorry that maybe that is the only reason that you can see in your own head, because that reflects your state of mind, not my state of mind. And the last thing I want to mention on this point of why are we so afraid of being seen is because being seen and being in full connection with other people might also mean that we need to break old ego patterns. Our ego needs to change. Our ego needs to evolve and develop in a way that we might not be comfortable with. So if I today have left my job, right, that I've been in for 15 years, a global corporate career, and I now all of a sudden want to show up into the world speaking, just being present and speaking my own truth, then there's a lot of discomfort in me because my ego is like, what are you doing? This is not who we are. This is not who we've been for all of our lives. This is not what we've built towards, and this is dangerous. And so, in a sense, showing up, being present, being seen also does something to your ego if you want to try and do this authentically, if you want to be honest about all of your shortcomings and all of the good things and bad things in you, then your ego is going to be very uncomfortable with that. So one of the biggest reasons why we're afraid of being noticed is because our ego needs to relax and our ego needs to evolve and our ego needs to shape itself around this new life and the new way of expression that we are showing up in the world. And finally, for the coolest part of this video is our presence equation. So if we really want to show up present in this world and mindful in this world, and true and honest in this world, if we really want to be doing the work that we are destined to be doing in this world, then we need three things. The first thing is that we need healthy connections. And when I say healthy connections, I mean we have so many connections by default around us in our life, relationships. And many of them might be sour and many of them might be amazing. But we need to alchemize those relationships so that they're healthy, so that they're a source of love, so that they're a source of joy in our lives. And we cannot run away from them, because the more we run away from them, the more we are running away from ourselves, and the less we're able to show up as present in this world. The second thing is we need to consciously put ourselves out there. So it's a conscious form of exposure. I'm not going and making a video and talking any bullshit or trying to make the algorithm happy or trying to oversell something. That doesn't work, because that is not honest. That is not conscious. That is not mindful. And also going to the other extreme of being like, oh, this system sucks. These social media platforms suck. Why would I want to be on them? The algorithm is so unfair. That's also another extreme that we shouldn't go to, because this is the world we live in. And if we really want to be honest, and if we really want to be transparent and true to ourselves, then there is a way of actually just sharing our truth without being over-identified with what we're doing, and also without running away from the fact that, yes, we might need to talk to a camera and to an algorithm, and we might need to put a cover image for our video, and we might need to make a caption, and I might need to make an outline for my video, which I hate doing because I just like speaking. But I might need to make an outline because it helps. It helps create hooks. It helps create attention. So these are the compromises we need to do when we are consciously putting ourselves out there. And finally, that brings us to the last point of the presence equation. It is consciously managing our identity. So we need a form of identity management. When our identity feels unsure and unsafe, we can proactively and creatively talk to ourselves and help ourselves evolve by dipping our toes into maybe new waters or a new venture or a new space that we might not be comfortable doing. But when we do that, we're allowing our identity to evolve, and our identity is actually there to protect us. It is not our enemy. It can be our greatest friend and it can be our greatest enemy, but it is there to protect us primarily. So if we bring our awareness to these voices and these conditionings in our head that call themselves our identity, they're just memories repeating themselves over and over again. If we bring our awareness to those things, we can have a conversation with them. We can help them evolve by pushing forward in directions that we're not normally used to pushing forward in. And if we're getting feedback that's difficult or that's triggering, we also have to keep in mind that our identity is always going to be feeling danger. It's always going to be feeling fragile. And by just bringing awareness to that, we will help this process unfold in a positive way, in a healthy way. So the presence equation, what does it mean to be present? It means to alchemize the connections around us in our lives so that they are a source of joy, and that they are a source of truth. And it means to consciously put ourselves out there in a way that is true, in a way that is real. It is not too much and it is not too little. And finally, also, it means that we manage our identity throughout this journey and throughout this process so that we're able to feel comfortable and feel energized and feel powerful in this new space that we find ourselves in. So this is the framework that I think about. This is the framework that I'm currently using. If you have any thoughts or ideas, I would also genuinely love to hear from you in the comments section. And I really appreciate your time. Whoever you might be in the world listening to this video, I'm sure you're going through this as well. And I genuinely, from all my heart, wish that you are able to be fully present and fully authentic. Much love.